Hi, good morning, and welcome to Picture Book Read Alouds. This is week 7 of 8, so we are almost finished with our whole summer school. Last week we looked at character traits of the spider from The Spider and the Fly. This week we're going to be reading a different story and thinking about character traits of the main character, but then really thinking about our own character traits as well. And so we are going to be reading The Empty Pot this week, and it's by Demi. So I'll go ahead and start reading. I'd like you to think about some character traits of the main character, Ping. A long time ago, in China, there was a boy named Ping who loved flowers. Anything he planted burst into bloom. Up came flowers, bushes, and even big fruit trees, as if by magic. Everyone in the kingdom loved flowers too. They planted them everywhere, and the air smelled like perfume. The emperor loved birds and animals, but flowers most of all, and he tended his own garden every day. But the emperor was very old. He needed to choose a successor to the throne. Successor is the person who takes the throne after he is finished. Who would his successor be? And how would the emperor choose? Because the emperor loved flowers so much, he decided to let the flowers choose. The next day, a proclamation was issued. All the children in the land were to come to the palace. They would be given special flower seeds by the emperor. Whoever can show me their best in a year's time, he said, will succeed me on the throne. The news created great excitement throughout the land. Children from all over the country swarmed to the palace to get their flower seeds. All the parents wanted their children to be chosen emperor, and all the children hoped they would be chosen too. When Ping received his seed from the emperor, he was the happiest child of all. He was sure he could grow the most beautiful flower. Ping filled a flower pot with rich soil. He planted the seed in it very carefully. He watered it every day. He couldn't wait to see it sprout, grow, and blossom into a beautiful flower. Day after day passed, but nothing grew in his pot. Ping was very worried. He put new soil into a bigger pot. He transferred the seed into the rich black soil. Another 2 months he waited. Still nothing happened. By and by, the whole year passed. Spring came, and all the children put their best clothes on to greet the emperor. They rushed to the palace with their beautiful flowers, eagerly hoping to be chosen. And you can see all the children have big, beautiful flowers in their pots. Ping was ashamed of his empty pot. He thought the other children would laugh at him because for once he couldn't get a flower to grow. His clever friend ran by, holding a great big plant. "Ping," he said, "you're not really going to the emperor with an empty pot, are you? Couldn't you grow a great big flower like mine?" "I've grown lots of flowers better than yours," Ping said. "It's just this seed that won't grow." Ping's father overheard and said, "You did your best, and your best is good enough to present to the emperor." Holding the empty pot in his hands, Ping went straight away to the palace. The emperor was looking at the flowers slowly, one by one. How beautiful all the flowers were, but the emperor was frowning and did not say a word. Finally, he came to Ping. Ping hung his head in shame, expecting to be punished. The emperor asked him, "Why did you bring me an empty pot?" Ping started to cry and replied, "I planted the seed you gave me, and I watered it every day, but it didn't sprout. I put it in a better pot with better soil, but still it didn't sprout. I tended at it all year long, but nothing grew. So today I had to bring an empty pot without a flower. It was the best I could do." When the emperor heard these words, a smile slowly spread across his face, and he put his arm around Ping. Then he explained to one and all, "I have found him. I have found the one person worthy of being emperor. Where you got your seeds from, I do not know, for the seeds I gave you had all been cooked, so it was impossible for any of them to grow." I admire Ping's great courage to appear before me with the empty truth. And now I reward him with my entire kingdom and make him emperor of all the land. So, the end. Think about some character traits that Ping possesses and why did he become emperor in this town. He didn't grow a beautiful flower, but the other children who grew beautiful flowers did something that they shouldn't have. So take a moment, think about some characteristics that you can give to Ping. And if you have someone there with you, talk to them about what you admire about Ping. We're going to come back in a few minutes with a project to talk about your character traits. Hi guys, so I started parts of the art project, so I want to show you some step-by-step so that you don't wonder how I got to the final project. So you're going to have a pot, a little flower pot. So I cut out something the shape of a pot and then the part that goes along the edge, and I put my name on there. And I'm going to write a little something on here. Then I have the flower stem, because we're going to grow a flower pot. And we're going to start it short and then grow it tall. So I'm also going to cut a little slit in the bottom of my pot. So I'll go ahead and do that now so that you can see what that looks like. Okay. Because the stem is not going to show on the outside of the pot. So now I have this tiny little slit here that I can slide my stem through. I'm also going to create on the back a little sort of, I'm going to put a little piece of paper here and just glue it on the sides so that way it can go up and down. But from the front, all you'll see is it growing. Okay, so I've got those pieces. Then for the top of the flower, I'm going to put a little piece of paper so that way all the petals can fit, can be glued, so you don't have to glue everything on here and have everything overlap. You can do it this way and just glue the petals, but I prefer to have it this way so that way all the petals can go onto there and be glued. And then I took a couple pieces of construction paper, folded them in half, and just cut a shape so they're all the exact same shape. So now I have 6 petals that I will glue around. The idea is to think about some of your own personal traits and put your own personal traits onto the petals that are going to go onto the flower. So you'll have your traits that you've already grown, but then, oops, that'll go in front. As it grows, we're going to think of more traits that we would either like to grow in ourselves, or something that maybe I was thinking about in this pandemic and things that I have changed or grown about myself in this time. So on here, on the petals, I want you to think about and write on each petal one trait that you already possessed, that you feel like you've had for a very long time. Then on the stem, as it grows, I want you to think about writing traits that you either wish to grow or you have grown recently in the times of COVID. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing mine together, and then I will show you what the final project looks like. Okay, I have just completed mine, so I'm going to show you the back first so you can see how it works in the back. So as you can see, there's the pot and there's that slit that I cut so it can go up and down, and then I also glued a piece of paper across the back and just glued it on the edges, so that way this guy can move up and down. Okay, so that's the back. Here's the front. So it starts short because we're going to grow. And if I were doing this for Ping, the main character, I think I would put things like courageous, honest, integrity, different traits that he has. But I wrote on here Mrs. Power, and it says, I filled this empty pot with traits that I own. So that's what these are. Now let's see what I have grown. Okay, so things that I own. So this is me, Mrs. Power. I am loving, kind, open-minded, active, strong, and hardworking. And you can put as many as you want here. I just chose 6 because it's my favorite number, and it's a nice symmetrical number. So we have our flower starting to bloom, but as we grow, and I've focused mine on since March, since the beginning of COVID, being home, I was on bed rest because I'm pregnant, so I had to be laying down for 11 weeks. So I had to grow some different characteristics that I never really had before. So as we grow, I think that I've become more productive, accepting, assertive, systematic, and organized. So now you can see at the beginning, for me, at the beginning of COVID, I had these traits. And I only included traits that I'm proud of. You can include however many you want. I'm sure I have plenty of traits that I could have added on here that are not so positive, but I wanted to focus on things I'm proud of. So this is what I started with in March, and now my empty pot has grown this tall. And so now I have some more traits that I'm proud of that I've been working hard on. So this is our project, and this is the final product for this week. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions. And as always, I'd love to see your final product. If you want to take a quick picture and email it to me at mariac@nativityprep.org. I would love to see the things you're working on in your summer enrichment program. Hope you have a great day. Bye.